Good morning, everyone. We're going to ask you to take your seats now, or thank you. Please stand for the national anthem of Barbados. You may take your seats. Managing Director of Roberts Manufacturing Company Limited, Jonathan Hart, members of the board of Roberts Manufacturing, representatives of the Proven Group, representatives of the ANSA Macau Group, managers and staff of Roberts Manufacturing, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. A warm welcome to everyone joining us in person here at the Sagicor Cave Hill School of Business and Management, as well as those who are tuning in online. Welcome to you. My name is Diane Squires, and I have the pleasure of being your host for this most auspicious occasion. This is a proud moment for Roberts Manufacturing, for Barbados, and for Barbadians. Roberts has been a part of the everyday life of Barbados and in the region for over 80 years, starting with soaps and now producing delicious spreads, oils, and animal feeds that nourish our homes, our farms, and our communities. So we are delighted to have you here today as we embark on a new chapter in the company's journey. And to share more about today's exciting developments, it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Jonathan Hart, Managing Director of Roberts Manufacturing, to the podium. Mr. Hart, please.
Thank you, Diana. Members of the board of Roberts Manufacturing, representatives of the Proven Group, representatives of ANSA Macau, my team from Roberts Manufacturing, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, Roberts Manufacturing formally announces its public share offer, and this is a significant milestone. Opportunities of this kind do not come to the Barbados market often. For those engaged through earlier discussions, this moment has been building for some time. For others, particularly members of the media and the wider public, this may be your first close look at what is being announced today. You will hear from key partners who have been instrumental in getting us to this point. You will hear details of the offer. In addition, everything shared in this forum will be available in our prospectus, which goes live today. I strongly encourage you all to read it. Let me say it plainly. This is a watershed moment for Roberts Manufacturing and the Barbadian capital market. It marks our transition into a new phase of visibility, accountability, and broader ownership. More importantly, it creates something valuable for Barbados, a chance for institutions, professionals, families, and the wider public to participate directly in the growth of Roberts Manufacturing. I will always remember today as a pivotal moment for us, and I look forward to leading our company through this evolution. I'll be back a little later, but for right now, I'll hand it back over to Diana. Thank you.
A watershed moment indeed. Thank you, Mr. Hart, for those opening remarks. And now to share why the board is fully supportive of this transition and how they've prepared for this, please welcome Dr. Jeremy Nurse, Independent Director at Roberts Manufacturing. Dr. Nurse.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, my name is Jeremy Nurse, and I'm an independent director of Roberts Manufacturing. My responsibility is to provide objective oversight and to act in the best interest of the company and all of its shareholders. From that vantage point, today's public share offer represents a significant milestone in the evolution of Roberts Manufacturing, as it positions the company for broader participation, enhanced transparency, and long-term value creation. I have been directly involved in the governance and transition work leading to this moment, and I would like to take the opportunity to outline the safeguards and decisions that have underpinned this process. Over the past several years, Roberts has taken steps to strengthen its governance framework in preparation for public ownership. The board now comprises mostly non-executive directors, including 3 independent directors. Oversight is exercised through 3 standing board committees. 1, the Audit, Risk, Compliance, and Conduct Committee. 2, the Corporate Governance and Remuneration Committee. And 3, the Technical Operations and Procurement Committee. Each one of these committees is chaired by an independent director. These structures ensure independent judgment, strengthen accountability, and align the company with the global governance standards that, of course, is expected of a publicly listed entity. A central focus of the board throughout this process has been ensuring that the transition to public ownership is managed carefully and without disruption. We have taken an active role in overseeing leadership continuity, risk management, and operational stability. As a result, we are confident that the day-to-day operations will not be affected, service delivery will remain consistent, and product quality will remain. From a governance perspective, continuity is essential. The board is satisfied that Roberts has the management depth, systems, and the operating platform required to support sustainable growth. Over the past 5 years, the board has overseen a structured transformation focused on leadership alignment, strengthening internal controls, and optimizing the company's value chain. This work has been deliberate, disciplined, and necessary, but more importantly for today's discussion, it positions the company well for public ownership. Following the public share offer, Roberts will continue to benefit from a balanced and stable shareholder base, including both Proven and the Anson McCall Group, who will retain meaningful shareholdings. This provides the stability and continuity of strategic oversight while simultaneously broadening ownership participation. I encourage all prospective investors to review the details of the prospectus carefully, as transparency and informed decision-making are fundamental to a well-functioning public market. This public share offer is not a departure from what Roberts has been, but a natural step building on the company's strong foundation. From the board's perspective, Roberts Manufacturing is well governed, Roberts Manufacturing is operationally sound, and Roberts Manufacturing is appropriately positioned to meet the expectations of public ownership. In closing, I would like to thank the management team, employees, regulators, advisors, and other key stakeholders for the professionalism that has brought the company to this important juncture today. Thank you all very much. All right.
And thank you, Dr. Nurse, for sharing the board's perspective. Now, Roberts Manufacturing continues to have the unwavering support of its major shareholders, Proven Investments and ANSA McCall. And to celebrate that partnership and ongoing commitment, we will hear from first Ms. Narisha Davis Farquharson, CEO of Private Capital of Proven Group Limited. Then we'll view a video message from the chairman of Roberts Manufacturing, Mr. Garfield Sinclair. And immediately after that, we'll hear from Mr. Andre Jeffers, Chief Strategy Officer of ANSA McCall. Ms. Davis Farquharson.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I am pleased to represent Proven, the major capital partner in Roberts Manufacturing. From acquisition, Proven's engagement rested on a clear blueprint. We saw a platform with scale, resilience, and the ability to support regional food security. Getting clarity early was critical, not only for capital deployment, but for setting the standards, the systems, talent, and culture to perform well and create value. Progress depended on shared conviction. Management, board members, the wider team, and investors aligned around a common ambition. That alignment drew cultural evolution, clearer accountability, and stronger performance discipline across the company. We're proud of the outcomes flowing from the execution of Phase 1 Value Creation Plan. The focus was deliberate, improving operations, strengthening reliability, and bolstering production capacity. That effort intentionally reduced risk and established a stable baseline for the next phase of growth. The next phase of value creation is centered on scale, market reach, product strength, and improved revenue performance. The public share offering marks readiness for public market participation and continues to strengthen the regional capital market. For investors, this offering reflects progress delivered, risk reduced, and further value still to be unlocked. To speak further on governance, public market discipline, and the forward-looking pathway, I now invite the chairman of Roberts Manufacturing Limited and director of Proven Group Limited, Mr. Garfield Sinclair, to share a short video message. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. I'm pleased to join you for this important milestone in Roberts Manufacturing Company's journey. This offering represents more than a capital raising. It marks Roberts' transition to a fundamentally different operating model, one built on the transparency, accountability, and discipline that public markets demand. Public company status creates structural advantages that strengthen businesses from within. 4 elements stand out to me. First, transparency. Quarterly audited financials, continuous disclosure, and material event reporting protect all stakeholders by ensuring decisions are made with full information and under scrutiny. Second, governance. independent directors, audit committee oversight, internal controls, and risk management frameworks create the foundation for sound decision-making and institutional discipline. Third, operational effectiveness. Public markets enforce accountability. Management must deliver measurable results and explain variances. This creates a high-performance culture, sharpens strategic focus, and improves capital allocation discipline. Fourth, market access. Public listings provide ongoing access to equity capital for growth, creates liquidity for shareholders, and attracts institutional investors who bring expertise and networks. From Proven's perspective, this offering validates the governance maturity Roberts has achieved. Over recent years, the company has modernized systems, delivered stronger financial performance, and expanded into regional markets, the result of the deliberate investment in governance, people, and infrastructure. For prospective investors, this offer provides access to a business operating under the discipline and transparency of public market oversight, standards that protect investor interests and drive long-term value creation. These structures reduce risk, create checks and balances, and ensure capital is allocated prudently. Proven remains a committed long-term shareholder. We and our partners at the Ansa Macau Group support this transition because we have confidence in the governance foundation built, the leadership that we've put in place, and the operational momentum that's been established. Roberts is ready, operationally, financially, and from a governance standpoint, to take this bold step into the future, and we encourage you to join us. Thank you.
All protocols observed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Andre Jeffers. I'm here today really wearing two hats. One as a regional partner of Roberts Manufacturing, but also as a long-standing shareholder, which I think is more relevant for this conversation. At Ansa Macau, we've been investing in Caribbean businesses for over a century. And, over that time, we've come to focus on three key attributes in terms of what makes a sustainable, investable business. One, steady leadership. Secondly, sound governance. And thirdly, disciplined financial management. Those three key attributes we found tend to be commonplace in a sustainable, investable company. And in our experience as long-standing shareholders of Roberts, we found all three. As shareholders, we look closely around how a company operates, but not just from a performance outcome perspective, but we take into consideration factors such as decision-making, transparency, and very importantly, alignment between executive management and the board. At Roberts, what we've seen is a management team that engages very openly with the board and with its investors. We've also seen prudent financial management, and we've seen a business that has strengthened its internal systems over time. Very importantly, and relevant for this audience, is that we've seen a leadership team that's very steady. Jonathan and his team, many of whom are with us here this morning, they've done a great job of maintaining clear direction, supported by experienced governance at the board level. We know how important it is for there to be an alignment between the strategic direction and having that oversight alignment. And from our perspective, Roberts enters this public offering from a position of strength. Strong balance sheet, consistent cash flows, disciplined approach to capital allocation, all the fundamentals that you would hope to see again in a sustainable, investable business. Now, that context is very important. This is not a company seeking to correct instability, but coming to the public markets from a position of strength. Broadening ownership at this stage in the company's evolution strengthens the business, it enhances liquidity, and it aligns it with a wider base of long-term shareholders. And it was alluded to earlier by one of my colleagues, but the opportunities to invest in well-established Barbadian companies doesn't come around that often. We believe that sustainable businesses are the ones that create value across shareholders, employees, customers, communities, all of the key stakeholders that keep a company going. And when you look at the structure of the offering, when you look at the prospectus, when you look at the direction that Jonathan and his team have forged, you can see all of those stakeholders well represented in the forward path. To the Roberts team, this is I know we'll be very serious here today, but this is a moment to smile and a moment to celebrate, both for the Roberts team and the wider Barbados investor community. But to Jonathan and the team, the confidence expressed today reflects the hard work that you and your team have done. And to the prospective investors in the room, we support this step because we believe in the leadership, the governance, and the long-term direction of Roberts Manufacturing. And we invite you to take that journey with us. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Many thanks to Mrs. Davis-Farquharson, Mr. Sinclair, and Mr. Jeffers for those insights. Okay, so we've set the stage, and now it's time to get into the heart of today's event, the investment opportunity. And to take us through the prospectus and to say why this is an investment worth considering, we have Mr. Hart to join us again, and he'll be followed by Ms. Keisha Otsford, the Chief Financial Officer of Roberts Manufacturing. So first, Mr. Hart, and then Ms. Keisha Otsford.
All right. Thank you again, Diana. Today's announcement is about an investment opportunity, but it is also about the public opening of a business that's been a part of Barbados for more than 80 years. So what is this opportunity? It's an investment opportunity of up to 49.5% in Roberts Manufacturing. Roberts has earned its place over time. Our brands are found in homes, supermarkets, food service, agriculture, and across the daily rhythm of life in Barbados and the wider Caribbean. This presence does not happen by accident. The company started as a small soap-making operation out of the home of J.C. Roberts, built on practical need to manufacture locally, solve real problems, and reduce dependence on import. Each step was taken as a response to changing needs and rising expectations. That practical mindset still defines Roberts today, and it is the foundation of what today's offer is built on. So why invest? We have categorized it with three main pillars. Market leadership in core categories. What do we mean by that? Roberts is the sole domestic producer of shortening, margarine, and edible cooking oils in Barbados. On top of that, through our subsidiary Pinnacle Feeds, we are the clear leader in animal feed locally in Barbados, all tied together with a strong brand portfolio with 11 registered trademarks across multiple jurisdictions. Second reason, sustainable competitive advantages. One such advantage is our proprietary mechanical extraction for our soybeans. It's chemical-free and supports premium positioning in a market where quality and consistency matters. Another strategic advantage, as a food and feed manufacturer, Roberts supports Barbados' food security and contributes significantly to export earnings. Third, we are a defensive consumer staples business. What I mean by that is our products are part of day in, day out, everyday life here in Barbados and across the Caribbean. We also serve the essential food supply chain, especially livestock production. And this is not by chance. This is not a business exposed only to discretionary demand. It is a business rooted in daily need. Before I continue, I want to share a short video on the Roberts story. It highlights our history, trust, and the staying power behind this company, and why today's public share offer is so important. Please direct your attention to the screen.
Our story may surprise you because it didn't start in a boardroom or a factory. Long before Roberts became a household name, it started in 1937 in the backyard of J.C. Roberts, where our very first product was dishwashing soap. But that's the thing about innovators. All they really need is a vision and the belief that something small can become something greater. By 1944, that same vision turned into Roberts Manufacturing Company Limited, a Barbadian company built with passion, determination, and a deep love for the community it served. Then, in 1949, two names entered Barbadian kitchens and never left: Glow Spread and Mellow Cream. Over time, we continued to innovate and grow, expanding our range of products to meet the needs of homes not only in Barbados, but across the Caribbean and North America. Today, our products are sold in 14 countries and we continue to expand our reach. As the company evolved, so did our capabilities, expanding into new areas of production, including livestock feeds through our Pinnacle Feeds brands, as well as the pet food category. Each new product carried the same commitment that started it all: quality, reliability, and meeting the needs of our valued customers. That commitment to quality is not just a promise, it is a standard that we uphold every day. Roberts Manufacturing Company is certified under the globally recognized Safe Quality Food Code, reflecting our commitment to the highest international standards in food production. Behind every product are the people who make it possible. Over 100 dedicated employees showing up every day with pride, skill, and the same passion that began in that backyard nearly a century ago. As we grew, so did our commitment to the communities that helped shape us. Beyond manufacturing beloved products, we are dedicated to nourishing our communities through sports, educational support, youth development, and environmental initiatives. But perhaps the most meaningful part of this journey is that Roberts never simply existed within this community. We've grown with it. Guided by strong leadership, responsible governance, and a clear vision for the future, we remain committed to building a company that Barbados can continue to trust for generations to come. What began as one man's vision has become something far greater than he could have imagined. It became a legacy shaped by the people of Barbados. And after more than 80 years, we're proud to keep building that legacy together.
Yes, thank you. Excellent work by our team, but a clear representation of what Roberts is. It's earned its place over time. And today we are inviting a wider community to take part in where this story goes next. I think what I was drawn to just now, you're hard-pressed to find more Barbadian companies that are more Barbadian than Roberts, that express both pride and industry. And I think that's important for us. This public offering is not just simply a transaction. It's an opening for institutions already familiar with the company and for members of the wider public learning about this opportunity for the first time. Broader ownership does not mean a change in the company's values. Our focus remains what it's always been: Quality, safety, reliability, and trust. Not slogans, but standards. Now let me turn to the product slide. What you see here is more than a product range. You are looking at the outward expression of decades of brand equity and a glimpse into the future. In our business, brand equity is built patiently. It is built when households choose your products again and again, when retailers continue to make room for your brands, when food service customers trust your consistency, and when producers know they can rely on your standards. Trust is not a soft attribute. It's a hard commercial advantage for Roberts. Roberts, as we saw in the video and in this next slide, is not just in Barbados. We are present in 14 other markets across the Caribbean. And I think many people don't understand what that means coming from a 21-acre position in St. Michael. We do not see those markets simply as our export destinations. We see them as beachheads, positions where we can build through deeper distribution, stronger customer relationships, and more efficient expansion over time. Our aspiration is to become a stronger regional player, perhaps over time a regional champion in our categories. This is an aspiration, not a slogan, and it must be earned through execution, but the foundation is visible on this side. Growth is credible when it begins from a base that already exists. We already have the products in the market. We already have experience across jurisdictions. We already have relationships we can deepen. The work to prepare for the next phase has already begun. Strengthening our operations, improving efficiencies, upgrading our plants, sharpening our systems, and building resilience. We are not speaking about expansion from weakness. We are speaking about expansion from a strong base. So what is the offer? The subscription price is $1 Barbados for every share and a total of 61,875 shares available, targeting a raise of approximately 60.3 million Barbados dollars, ahead of listing on the Barbados Stock Exchange. The prospectus and our brokerage partners will guide investors through the full detail. So to those institutions which intend to engage seriously with this opportunity, your interest is deeply important. To those still considering, your scrutiny is welcome. A strong investor base is good for the company, good for the market, and good for Barbados. For our part, management's responsibility is straightforward. We must protect the strengths that got us here, keep improving efficiency and resilience, and maintain the quality, safety, and reliability that defines the Roberts name. We must pursue growth with discipline, evaluating new products categories carefully, exploring vertical integration where it improves efficiency, and being disciplined about strategic opportunities, including mergers and acquisitions, only where they strengthen the business and align with long-term shareholder value. This offer is not about changing Roberts into something unfamiliar. It is about building on what Roberts already is. And now to take us through some financial insights, I'll hand it over to our Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Keisha Osford.
Protocols already being established. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Jonathan, for so aptly capturing the essence of Roberts and our vision. As Jonathan has outlined, Roberts comes to this moment with a stronger foundation, a clearer platform for growth, and a business that has already done much of the work required for its next phase. The prospectus contains the full range of the company's audited financial information, and I would strongly encourage investors to read it carefully. From management's perspective, our priorities are protecting gross profit, sustaining gross margins, converting that performance into cash flows, and supporting a reliable dividend. Operationally, the team is focused on gross profit margins, as these metrics reflect how effectively sales are converted into earnings after absorbing commodity input costs. Given that input costs fluctuate with global commodity prices, consistent operational execution, particularly in procurement timing, product mix, and waste management, is critical to protecting and improving margins throughout cost cycles. This underscores the importance of maintaining strong oversight of gross profit and margins. Now, looking at the slide, gross profit increased from, we had US $18.0 million in FY21 to US $18.46 in FY25. In FY22, the company would have changed its financial year from September to March to align with its majority shareholders for reporting and audit purposes. The sharp decline that you're seeing there in FY23 was driven by elevated input costs and a reclassification of expenses, which was implemented on the advice of our external auditors. Over the last 3 years, now this is where the real progress has been made. In a business where input costs can move sharply, the ability to protect and expand gross margin is what drives resilience, cash generation, and ultimately shareholder returns. In feed, our strategy remains disciplined. This is a strategically important segment, and our objective is to protect our leading position. Through our 60% ownership of Pinnacle Feeds, we control an effective 65% market share. Competition has increased, but our approach is clear: protect Roberts' leading share, preserve customer relationships, and manage the category for profitable participation. The strongest growth opportunities sit where our market positions are also the strongest in spreads, oils, and key retail categories. From a financial perspective, what matters most is that those positions support better mix, stronger margin resilience, and healthier cash generation over time. And the commercial team has exciting innovations in the pipelines. You have already heard from our MD that Roberts operates in 14 markets beyond our home base. This is not simply an export story. These markets represent strategic footholds for growth, providing an established regional platform from which to deepen distribution and expand efficiently. That opportunity is underpinned by balance sheet strength. Roberts carries very little debt, and the significant capital investment needed to strengthen the business has already been made. The company is moving forward with financial flexibility to support growth, cash generation, and dividends. That point is worth underlining. This is not a turnaround story. The turnaround has already happened. What investors are looking at now is the next phase: disciplined growth built on a safer and stronger foundation. Now, this brings me to shareholder returns. The directors anticipate an annual dividend of at least 50% of profits after tax. That reflects a clear commitment to shareholder returns while preserving the flexibility to reinvest in the business. In 2025, our shareholders earned 7.5% on their investments through dividends alone. When management fees are included, this returns increases to 10.4%. Over a 5-year period, the average return was 3.2% and 5.8% when the management fees were included. The company's ability to pay these levels of dividends flows directly from the operating priorities I described earlier: margin discipline and cash generation. So for investors, the proposition is straightforward. First, dividends. There is a clear policy that supports meaningful shareholder returns. Secondly, safety. Roberts is a long-established business, has very little debt, and a stronger operating base with a heavy capital investment already behind it. And third, growth. Not speculative growth, but measured growth for a more resilient platform with margin discipline and established 14-market regional footprint already in place that provides an attractive path for expansion. Taken together, this is a compelling proposition. This public share offer is not asking you to fund a recovery. It is inviting you to participate in the next stage of growth of a business that has already strengthened its foundation and is positioned to build from strength. So my encouragement to investors is simple. Focus on the quality of earnings. Focus on cash generation and read the prospectus carefully. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Hart and Ms. Osford. So we have all heard the compelling reasons to invest. And now, to walk us through how we can take advantage of the offer, join me in welcoming the first from Signia Globe Financial Group, Inc., and these are our brokers, Mrs. Aisha Maycock Stout, Manager, Corporate Finance and Stock Brokerage, followed by her colleague, Mr. Terry Innes. Williams, Mr. Terry Williams, Digital and Process Information Lead, and then they will be followed by the CEO of Capita Financial, Inc., Mr. Curtis Knight. So Aisha Maycock.
Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Aisha Maycock Stout, Corporate Finance Manager and of Stock Brokerage as well. And we are quite excited at Signia Globe to be the lead broker. And for those who have missed the magnitude of what you are witnessing today, let me tell you that something like this, an IPO type activity, has not happened on the Barbados Stock Exchange probably since 2002. And when you think of a company that is as strong as Roberts Manufacturing, this is the type of company that you want to be a part of. When you think of the regional reach, operating in 14 markets, owned by 2 regional powerhouses, and they are saying to the Barbadian public, listen, we want you to be a part of what we have going on. And when that happens, the last time I told you was 24 years ago. You don't want to miss the opportunity. You see in the presentations earlier that the price is $1 as well. And when you think of the upside potential of $1 on the Barbados Stock Exchange, it is magnificent. $1.05 is a 5% return. $1.10 is a 10% return. It may sound like, $1.10. $1.15 is 15% return. You guys getting me? Yeah. The opportunity for upside potential is really incredible. And this is why we as the lead brokers at Signia Globe are extremely excited to be a part of this opportunity. My job today, though, is to tell you a little bit more about Signia Globe before I lose my little pick. Okay, let's get that right. So who is Signia Globe? Do any of you guys know what our slogan is? Think outside the bank. Oh, excellent. You win a free handshake. It's very free today only. Do not miss this opportunity. And we have 2 locations to serve our public. We are located in Haggett Hall. When you go to get your Starbucks coffee, right there next to your Subway sandwich, you will see Signia Globe's office. But our main branch is in Hastings. This is where you will find our brokerage team. And when you go on your staycation at Indigo Hotel, you're going to see us right opposite. That is where we are located. And Signia Globe is a company that is also owned, we have regional ownership. We are owned by Cave Shepherd Company, as well as Grace Kennedy Limited, 50% and 50%. So we also have legacy parents. Our parents are actually over 100 years old. So a company like Signia Globe that has a legacy is very pleased to partner with another legacy company. Where do we sit as part of the Cave Shepherd Group? You see we have Fortress Fund Management. They do mutual funds. They are part of our group. Pace Digital, which is the usual Cave Shepherd card, which has gone way past expectations with their own Visa card, credit card. It's called Pace Digital. Then there's Ganzi, when you buy all your souvenirs when you're traveling. And of course, there's DGM, which is asset management. right? Who is Signia Globe? Well, we are two legacy companies as well. Signia, our heritage Signia, started in 2003, and Globe actually started in 2001, and the companies merged to become Signia Globe in 2018. Please do not forget the globe at the end. People are very upset. Signia Globe. All right, and we're regulated by the central bank. We are audited out of our hair, audited by everyone. We are audited by PwC, we are audited by internal auditors, and we have a compliance team that I want to learn how to block their emails, but I can't. And we are also, as part of a stock brokerage team, then we are also regulated by the Financial Services Commission as well, right, the FSC. So most people know Signia Globe as a lending company. Yes, we do vehicle loans. I am not ashamed to plug this because I work there and they pay me. But most people don't recognize that we are one of the most active brokerage houses in Barbados. Most people who are looking to do any type of investment on the Barbados Stock Exchange, they hunt for Signia Globe. So much so that other brokers recommend that you go to Signia Globe. They just don't have the time, but they send them to us as well. So let's meet your good-looking team, the core team that is going to be handling this. And as you can see, we are all good-looking. Let me put that plug in. I am the manager, and I'm capably assisted by Terry Williams. Between the two of us, we have over 45 years in the financial services industry, and in particular with the Barbados Stock Exchange. We was talking to Mr. Yard this morning, and we have been through a lot, seen a lot as persons on the Barbados Stock Exchange. Janae Butts and Alicia Aline, they're also very, very quality workers, and I want to say that our team is dedicated, committed, and we are ready to take your money. Thank you, please, and thanks. The offer opens today, so that is live from today, and it's open for 3 weeks with a minimum subscription of $1,000 and multiples of $100 thereafter. You can see that this investment is absolutely within reach of the Barbadian public. And while, yes, we have specially invited guests, but everyone in this room, our techies, our camera guys, our photographers, this offer is open to everyone at every level, and we are ready to partner with you. So with that being said, let me hand it over to Terry now, who is going to take you through a little bit more on the application process.
Thank you. So let's talk about how we make this. Let's talk about how we make this subscription process work. We are pleased to let you know that the process is fully digital. In other words, you can fill out your form online, you attach your KYC online, everything that you need to go and happen will happen via the form. When you've completed the process, we'll be reviewing it as well in a digital format, and then we will send you notifications so that you can start the process of paying, preferably online as well. There are other options to come into the office, etc., but we want to push you to utilize the online space to make the process as easy and as convenient as possible for everyone. Now, the form handles multiple scenarios, and this is important because the offer has several tranches, and I'll talk a bit about that as we go. There are mandatory fields. So you're not going to be able to complete the process unless you provide the key information that is necessary. That allows us to ensure that when we get to the stage of checking the information and ultimately forwarding the information on to the regulator and the BCSD, all the required documentation is completed. So I know that you may think, well, I've started the process and I'm missing this particular piece of information at this time. Does that mean I have to start off from scratch? No. At any time as you go through the process and you reach a point where you need to stop and pause, you can simply hit save at the bottom of the form, and it will send an email notification link to your email that you'll have put down so that you can resume the process exactly at the point where you ended it. Now, we want you to pay close attention to the email address that it is coming from. The email address is lendingapps@signiaglobe.com. Now, I want you to add this to your safe senders list, just in case. You know, in this day and age, sometimes spam can get the better of emails. But for those of you who don't understand what it is, all that means is go into your email and add Signia Globe or add Roberts Manufacturing offer into your contacts. And that will ensure that the emails that come out as part of the process gets directly to your inbox and doesn't find its way in your junk spam. Now, I mentioned we can pause and resume the process. Now, please note, the offer is for a set period of time. And you must be completed the process at the conclusion of the offer. So let's not do that Barbadian habit of waiting until the very last minute to start the process, only to realize, oh shoot, 25 minutes left, and you're rushing to put in everything at the last minute. The process allows you to get started, pause and resume, and make sure that you complete the process at the end before the offer closes. Now, everything that the form starts from a landing page, which looks like this. The landing page will be shared as part of at the end of the presentation, so that you can go. There's plenty of resources on that site so that you can see how to use it, answer some frequently asked questions, and then ultimately launch into the form to get your process started as part of the offer. Now, I mentioned that the process is fully digital. And there are 3 separate tranches that we really are running through: the general public, institutional investors, and staff members. Now, why is it necessary to create that separation? So, firstly, the general public really reflects all individuals who are not staff members or directors of the company, and that is outlined in the prospectus. Now, those persons would get a preferential rate on the offer as a result of being a staff member. Now, I know that some of you, as you read the offer, you may be tempted to think, well, if the offer is a reduced amount for staff members, perhaps I can attempt to qualify as a staff member for the purposes of the offer. Guess what? That's not going to work. Your process, as you get started in the form, before you are locking in that preferential price, it must be vetted by the HR team. So if they come and they see a name they don't know, guess what? They'll just hit no on the form and you'll pay general public price for everyone. Additionally, there is also the potential for institutional investors to also receive a preferential 3% discount on their holdings. Now, this also requires approval. So you must have, your offer must be in excess of 10 million shares, and it must then be signed off by both Proven and Ernst McCall as part of the process. So once you go into you set up as an institutional investor, your amount is over $10 million, and your submission goes off, notification will go to the principals of the company, who will then say, well, yes, this person is an institutional investor that we're prepared to work with long term on this project. We also want to remind you, and my colleague from Capital will come immediately after us, you need to know that there is the option on the form to choose your provider based on as you get started. So all of this is managed on the form to make the process as seamless as possible for you. So just so that we are clear, I just want to give you the running order of what you can expect from the form process. Now, you will go to the website, you will start the process. Some of you may pause and resume through the process, whatever, until you have all the relevant documentation, your ID, your one form of ID, a proof of address, and you will complete the form and you'll submit the documentation. Now, initial checks, as I mentioned, may happen if you are an institutional investor that qualifies to reach that tranche, or if you've indicated that you're a staff member and it goes through the HR team to validate. But for the general public, generally, it will, after you've submitted, you will get the next step you will get would be an initial review of your documentation to ensure that your selected provider will look at the documentation you submitted, make sure you've signed where you need to sign, you've attached the relevant documents that you need to attach, make sure that we've vetted you effectively, and then we will then say, okay, yes, we'll send you back notifications so that you can then begin the process of making payments. Now, please, 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 do not pay before you've completed your KYC information. It is important. There is a reference number. The form generates a unique reference number. So you should have this unique reference number when you're paying, because there is a notice that will let you know what is your reference number when you're making a payment. This is in ensuring that reconciliation is smooth. We don't want to hear that there's another $100,000 sitting down, we don't know who it came from. So we encourage you, follow the process. Go through, complete the form, take note of the reference number, and then when the KYC vetting has occurred and you get your notification and you submit, let us know you paid by attaching, this is the reference number for my payment and evidence of your payment. That makes the process as smooth as possible for everyone so that we know that you have paid and we have a record of the payment being made. Now, if you are an individual who is joint, you can, as a result of being joint, you obviously will not be able to sign both times on the form, but you're going to be able to indicate who is the person who is joint with you, and they will also get a notification to the form so that they can review and sign off the form for themselves as well. So all of this is going to be made available on the link, my final slide, and you can go to the site www.investrobertstrnd.ly/. So any additional information you need, you'll find there, and we'll be happy to assist you through this process. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Protocols have already been established. My name is Curtis Knight, CEO of Capital Financial Services, Inc. I'm really pleased today for Capital to be a part of this journey as a co-broker. I know we relate to the game, but I'm really thankful to CSA, Roberts, and the rest of the key stakeholders that pull the transaction together. This transaction represents for us a momentous occasion, having celebrated 15 years of operation. It also signaled to us the opportunity to partner with such a great organization for which, in our 5-year strategic plan, it focuses on wealth creation. And Capita, as all of you know, is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Barbados Public Workers Credit Union, which last year celebrated $2 billion in assets under management, and we have 170,000 members. So for us, when I say focusing on wealth creation, it means reaching 170,000 people. It also means that having aligned to a strategic partner that's bringing new products and services in a digital way also culminates with what we're trying to do as part of our long-term strategy for Capita. So when I saw this opportunity of Roberts Manufacturing to co-broker 82 years, my parent company is 55 years. When I looked at the fact they're looking at diversification of investment opportunity across the majority of Barbados, we have 170,000 members. Barbados has about 280,000 people. When I look at the fact that we're transitioning our organization towards digital elements, and the fact that you're currently bringing something to the market that aligns with the IGM 2000 national initiative, which is really aimed at building a stronger, more inclusive economy for Barbados, I simply had to beg to the team at CSA for us to be involved in this transaction because it means a lot more to me than just being a broker. It means bringing an opportunity to the membership of the credit union organizations in Barbados and also to the customers of Capital Financial Services, Inc. What it also means is that we want to be able to make sure we can execute successfully on this journey, utilizing our strength of branch network, and also making sure that our customers and members have the opportunity to participate and have the time to digest the information and take responsibility for them understanding the contents of the information and making a decision that we believe at this time is very critical to their well-being and future. And like I said earlier, our strategic focus is on life stages and value creation, noting that we have an aging population. You have to look at making the plans now for your future. And this opportunity for us presents that, and it aligns with our long-term plans. To the folks at Roberts Manufacturing, just want to say that this launch, we fully support. We look forward to working with you to pre- and post-launch in terms of activities on the stock exchange. We also want to make sure that this particular launch is not the wherewithal of educational support to the population. I believe, and we at Capital believe, that we need to take it up a step, a notch further, and introduce elements that will propel further activity post-launch. Because what we don't want to have is a situation where you launch and things just go stagnant. We look forward to working with you and for you to continue to thrive. And I thank you again for your support, and we'll work with you along this journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to our brokers from Signia Globe Financial, Mrs. Aisha Maycock Stout, Mr. Terry Williams, and from Capital Financial Inc., Mr. Curtis Knight. And so we are coming down to the close, but we do have a few moments for questions. We've heard a lot. We've heard the compelling offer. We've heard how to apply, and I'm sure there are either members of the media or those from the investor community who may have questions, and we can take a few questions now. And this is what we'll do. There's a mic in the center aisle here, and if you have a question, you move towards that mic. You'll pose your question there. If you are a member of the media, please state your name and the media house you represent before posing your question, and then also indicate who that question is for. Now, before that happens, I'm going to ask Mr. Jonathan Hart, MD, to take the stage here so that everyone can see you. Also to CFO Keisha Osford, Dr. Jeremy Nurse, Independent Director of Roberts. Kindly take your seat here. Mrs. Aisha Maycock from Signia Globe and Mr. Knight from Capital Financial. Please take your seats. And after they're seated, we can start with our first question. Are members of the media still here? Any members of the media? We can take the first question if you have one. Please. So again, when you approach the mic, just say who you are and who your question is for.
Good morning. This question is for Aisha. Aisha, you mentioned BCSD. Who is BCSD and what's their role in this process? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marlon Yard, General Manager of the Barbados Stock Exchange, who knows very well what the BCSD is. We are going to have a chat afterwards. The BCSD is the Barbados Central Securities Depository, while the stock exchange is the platform that actually exchanges ownership. There is a database which captures all of the personal information of every shareholder, and that is handled by the BCSD. Did I pass? Okay.
Great.
Good morning, Adrian Elcock. First of all, congratulations. I think this is a significant moment,
Thank you.
Not just for your country, for your company, but for our country, as we try to liberalize the market and see a bit more liquidity moving around. I'm excited to see where it will play. My question is primarily to the board and management, and there are a couple of things I want to get clear in my mind. The CFO spoke a lot about margin protection, and putting on my little accounting hat to protect margins, you got to either increase on the revenue side or you got to protect on the expense side, on your cost side. But we're in an unprecedented stage now with geopolitics, and I didn't hear much about how the company intends to respond or to deal with risk mitigation as it relates to things like soybeans. You have, I'm assuming that's listing a significant input in your operations, and we know the threats that are happening there because of the China-US tug-of-war, if you want to call it that. And I know that down in Latin America is probably your biggest routes to get soybeans. But the point is that whenever there's a tussle, it means that any elasticity in the pricing is negative. So that is going to be a threat to your margins, and it seems to be something that's getting even more dire as we look at the fertilizer issue and the impact it will have on farmers who are a big constituent of yours. So addressing the geopolitical risk as it relates to your costings and protecting those margins, I'll be curious of your strategies. On the second level would be a bit more domestic. You spoke about feed being 65% market share. But I believe those of us in the know recognize that one of the largest companies in the poultry business in the island have entered into the feed business, and I assume they would have been a large customer. And then we're dealing with many other local and small farmers. So I'm not sure your export market profile, but to protect that 65% market share, I would like to be comfortable that since that's an anchor of your revenue strategy, how we're going to deal with that. And then the third question would be to deal with you raising $60 million. Not sure how you're going to deploy that $60 million. You spoke kind of esoterically about that. But you're in 14 markets. I grew up in St. George. I know Roberts Manufacturing plant quite well. I've seen recently you've moved to photovoltaic, I guess as a hedge against fuel costs, et cetera. But does the plant have the capacity for expansion is the basic question. And will some of this money go towards that?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Alcock. So we have three questions, and the first on geopolitical risk, I believe, Mr. Hart.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Alcock. As it relates to geopolitical risk, yes, we are all aware of it and obviously glued to whatever device we use to keep an eye on what's happening. But I will put that in context. You spoke about soybeans. Yes, it is our major commodity that we use. But many people don't know that we have a strategic partnership through Pinnacle Feeds with ADM, who are one of the largest suppliers of these type of commodities. They're actually our partner in Pinnacle Feeds. So through that relationship, we've leveraged their experience, their market intelligence to help support us build out a plan that goes beyond the month, the next 2 months. So we feel very confident of where we are right now. On top of that, we also employ third-party consultants to help drive our decision-making as well. So while we can't know for certain where we're going, what we do know is we are ahead of the curve in understanding what it means today.
And the second question on competitors and competitive.
Great question as well. That 65% is today, post the competitor coming into the market. So we are the market leader still and will continue to be. And everything we do with our, first starting with quality and then product research, moving forward is to maintain that discipline here. And yes, expansion is big on our agenda. We currently export our feed to 4 markets across the OECS currently. So we're going to continue on that stretch and see what other markets we can get into.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hart. Thank you, Mr. Alcock, for the questions. We have time for 2 more questions.
Was it third? It was a third?
Yes, yeah, he answered. You
I
answered
both in one for you?
an expansion. Yes.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
Jeremy Stephen here, and 2 very simple questions. What percentage of this PSO is being retained in-house? And following on from that, you did say that there's very little debt on the books. I'm very interested in hearing more about your debt to equity ratios. I'm very interested in your financial management allocations in that respect.
I'll answer the first one, and I'll let Keisha answer the second one. To be fair, this is a offer for sale. So our shareholders right now, they are going to benefit from this PSO. What it means for us, though, is attracting a wider base of shareholders allows us to have access now to help us grow, because we have a lot of plans to. I mean, we have a vision of what the next 5 years looks like, and it's perfectly timed with what's happening now, how we're going to get there with the support of many institutions in Barbados.
Ms. Osford?
All right, as it relates to the debt to equity, we are currently about 0.2% debt compared to equity. Roberts has historically funded all of their expansions in-house. We only would have recently started with external debt from last year. So when I say it is small, it is really, really small, because the company is in its initial stages of funding externally, receiving funds from external companies.
Okay, so we'll take this final question. Thank you so much. Please state your name and who the question is for.
Jabari Banfield from Fortress. Congratulations, guys. This question is probably directed at Jonathan or Keisha, anyone on Roberts Management, and I just want to piggyback on the margin question. As you kind of look forward to export-led growth, just wondering, what are your thoughts on margin cadence, given you're probably entering more competitive markets with less brand equity? How do you feel about margins going forward? Thanks.
Well, thank you for the question. I feel very comfortable. I mean, 70% of our business right now is domestic. So we have the opportunity to grow. So obviously our margin strength comes from local. And we're going to take all that we have done here to continue to expand into these markets. But to add to your question, and you would have seen, we're not that new to the region. 14 markets, most of the other islands in the Caribbean, they actually think a lot of our brands are theirs because they've been there since the early 70s. So we're going from strength to strength. So the new markets we go into, yes, we will have to get aggressive. But likewise, any competitor trying to come in here would have to get aggressive as well. I think it's our mix, our quality, our equity are what going to build us, and we're also looking, towards differentiation. We offer a lot of products that other markets in the Caribbean don't have, and I think that's an excellent route to market as well.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you for your questions. And as we wrap up, I want to emphasize that today represents national ownership, shared opportunity, and the next phase of growth for one of Barbados's most trusted brands. And of course, this is the moment to celebrate with us that, I wish we had a drum roll. Somebody's trying to give you a drum roll. Thank you so much. The offer window is officially open, and we all have the chance to participate in this historic move. It is open from now until May the 7th. So celebrate with us, but also make sure that you're also reviewing the official prospectus in detail. The QR code is provided. We have this here on the screen. You can also go to www.investroberts.trnd.ly. That's also on the screen. So if you scan the QR code, you'll go to the site and you get more information, but you can also go directly to the site. So all I have left to say is that on behalf of Roberts Manufacturing, thank you so much for being here, for the support, for the questions, and for your belief in what is possible when we invest at home. Thank you so much. Invite all of you to take refreshments before you leave, and of course, have a chat with some of the members of the panel here. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
We have to leave in order. Thank you very much. Awesome.